Alrighty folks, when you get these shades and pull them out of the box, they're going to be put together like this, and I'm going to start showing you how to actually install them on your dock, porch, whatever you guys are looking for. So on each side, on the far left and the far right of these crossbars, you're going to have 1/4 inch bolt. The ones we're going to be sending you are going to be about 3.5 inches. So if you're getting there about 3.5 inches, and they're going to go into both of your poles, and they're going to actually be what's supporting the weight of the shade as we go forwards. So there's no holes you're going to need to be drilling in any of this, in your key rail or in your crossbar, but you are going to have to put 2 holes in at the top to get these bolts through and get them all connected up there for you. So in just a second, I'll show you how to get them up there, and we'll go from there. So when you're putting these up, get them flush with the end of your thing, the end of your pole here, and then these bolts will come out. And then you can see on there, you'll have just a hole through here. You can put your drill bit right through the hole we've already drilled for you, and then you can make a mark. Once you've made that mark on there, all you gotta do, once or twice, you got it. Try to make it as straight as you can. You'll just drill it in and then through both sides. Once you have a hole, once you get it in once at least, make sure your drill is straight side to side and then up and down, or else you're gonna have some problems getting that bolt all the way through. But once you got it lined up, just put it all the way through and you'll have your hole for your bolts. Once you put the first hole in and you have your first bolt up, you can go ahead and throw that bad boy in there and get it to where it's locked into place on one side. Once you do that and you have your other side up as well, you're going to need to grab that level we were talking about. You'll throw your level on here and you'll make sure this is level. Once you have it level, you can put your mark on your other side just like it was, and then you can let this whole thing down. After you let it down, you can go ahead and put your other hole in this side, and then you can get it put up and in those holes for you. It's going to take a lot of jostling and jarring to get all these bolts in there the way they're supposed to be. If it's bad enough on there that you can't twist it and get it twisted around to where you can get that bolt all the way through, you can always, worst case scenario, drill yourself another hole in the back, a little more lined up. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world to get done, but it's not hard. On a tiny one like this, if you're doing like this is like a 4-footer, it's pretty easy to get this all manhandled by yourself if you're obviously have the capacity to do so. On the longer shades, it's going to be nearly impossible. You're definitely going to want a helper or somebody to get you up on another ladder. Hold it steady, get it up. You can do one side in, and then they can do the other side way easier like that. If you don't have anybody to help you, you can always get some good C-clamps, get it up there, wrangle those around, and you can get it figured out. Just kind of a pain. Once you get that up, your shades could be a little wonky here. Like on this one, my rope came out on the side. So the way that these are going to want to be set up is it's just going to go front to back, and then if you can get it lined up straight all the way down with it, that's just going to be what's going to roll with us. So on these, all you got to do is just pull it down a little bit, pull it out, and then you're pretty good to go. So once I get that relined up, I get these pulled a little bit, and then you're good to go. So on the back of these bolts, once you get them pushed all the way in, you're just going to get yourself some nuts here. You're only going to get them 1 for each. They're pretty easy to get put in. All you need are a pair of pliers and a pair of vice grips. Is a pair of pliers or a wrench. Adjustable wrench would be better. If not, these are all 1/4 inch. And a pair of vice grips on the front is the easiest way I found to do them. So you're just going to grab yourself your nut and your bolt, your nut and your washer. And then you're just going to throw them on the back here. So washer first, obviously, and then you're just going to put your nut on here in the back. Finger tight, and then you're good to go on that. On the front, grab yourself your vice grips. Get them locked in on there, and then just going to keep those from moving, and then you're just going to tighten these up. So they don't have to be too crazy tight, but you definitely don't want them moving. Like I said, this is what holds up the entirety of the weight on the back of these. So when you're putting up this second side, especially again, if you're on a dock, if you're on land, it doesn't really matter, but On the dock, sometimes it's a little pain to get around these far corners. There's not a great way to go. An easy way to get that second one tightened here, especially with the shade in the way, is either to, especially if you have a partner, this is where, if you had a partner putting this up, it's real easy. Just pull this ladder out a bit and then roll your shade up first. Once you have the shade rolled up, you can have them hold it. Don't worry about rolling it up straight. You can just have them hold it, keep it out of the way for you, and then you'll be able to get up around both sides to get this last nut tightened here. So, once you get your bolts tightened on the top, you can let this bad boy back down. Our next order business here is putting your cleat on that's going to hold this rope. These folks specifically wanted it on the side, but most of the time we end up just putting it on the front at whatever height's comfortable for you. When you're doing your measurement, if you know what height you'd like this at, it's not a big deal to just let us know, and then I will change my rope accordingly to wherever you want. A lot of people do it about chest height. Some people want it a little higher so they can really crank on it and do it higher. It's whatever you want. So just let us know. For installation on these, it's just going to be, yet again, 2 more 1/4-inch bolts. You're going to put them through here like this, then you'll put them in. To actually get the measurements for this, to install them, it's pretty easy on these. Throw that cleat wherever you're going to be wanting on here. So most people put it on the side. You're going to throw that cleat on the side here, and then you're just going to put it in the top. Get yourself a drill or two. Pull it down, you'll have yourself a hole here. Put another straight hole through. Once you have that first straight hole through, the easiest way to get the second bottom hole is just go ahead and put your nut in here, your bolt, sorry. Go ahead and put your bolt in here, line it up in the back, send it through. So this is where the top's gonna be, and then as long as you have this, you can use a level or you can just eyeball it. Get this level up and down. Once again, put your drill bit in there, drill yourself a hole where it's going to be, and then you can take this whole deal out, and then you'll have yourself a nice little divot in there where you can put that second bolt in. This is, or can be, probably the most frustrating parts of these installs if you're not doing these correctly. If you're putting this in at too much of an angle or whatever, you'll see here in a second, these are pretty tight on their tolerances. So, especially because there's two of these bolts here going through, so they need to be accurate. Once you have both of those bolts through, it's easier normally just to put the first one in and then you can do the second. So throw that first one in there, line it up in the back with your hole, and then push it through. If you know they can both go through, you can put a bolt. If not, or you can put your nut on here in the back. If not, throw that second one in there, wiggle it around, see if you can get it straight. I know I can on these because I've already done it, thankfully. There we go, got it through the back. These cleats will hold this in place pretty well, so you don't have to worry about holding these in place while you're screwing these in. Then you'll just throw 2 nuts on the back of these and tighten them down as much as you can. This should never be moving, so don't worry about over tightening these. Really give it to them, and they should be staying in place for you for pretty much forever. So once you get these bolts tightened on and everything good to go, you can go ahead and start rolling these up. This is where you'll see for sure whether you got these level on the top or not. So when you're starting pulling these up, especially for the first time, some of this stuff's going to creak, some of this stuff's going to move on the top. So if your first roll up is not perfect, don't worry about it. Go ahead and let it back down, do it again. So this one's been going crazy in the wind for the last couple days, so we get a little bit of stuff in there, but you get it up, you get it tight, and then you're pretty good to go. So when you're leaving them up, obviously just continue to roll them up. All this rope will fit on one of these cleats here for you. And that's what it'll look like up. So we're done with everything on the top. Last thing we got to do is put on our tighteners on the bottom. Finished here with this. The tie down section on the bottom of our shade consists of 4 of these Footman's tie downs. So one of these will go about 6 inches below the bottom of your shade on the pole, and it'll just be 2 screws here. And then on the bottom of this, so as you'll turn it up, there's going to be a crease through here. Just naturally, as it's folded in the box, there'll be a crease. And then somewhere near the end here, you'll put a screw through. to the bottom. You'll end up putting one of these screws kind of right between these two overlapping seams. And then you can put the second one over that rounded seam we have going across the bottom. Throw your second screw in. And that's how we're finishing these bottom mounts off. So once you have your bottom tie down on, you'll take your tie down strap here, and you're just going to want to go through and then behind and around the entirety of your pole, and then as you're through the back, it'll just come through here, tighten it out. All you have to do is pinch and then push and pull, and then ratchet it back and forth a couple times, and that's it. You can cut this to length if this is a little too long for you. I would just recommend you leave an angle on it, maybe even a little sharper than this, and then make sure you take a lighter to it so you get all those frays nice and fixed up for you.